Hello everybody and welcome back. My continuation of my book reading of Frankenstein. In this part of the book reading, I will be reading from chapter 2 till chapter 6 because they all have the same chapter name. And the chapter name is called Victor Frankenstein's Story Begins. Here we go. I was born in Switzerland, in the town of Geneva. My parents loved each other very much, and I learned from the example of their love. I learned that to love and to be patient are the most important things in the world. My mother always hoped to have a daughter after I was born, but for 5 years I was the only child. And then my mother found a sister for me. She was helping a family in which there were 5 children. They were very poor and the children were thin and hungry. One of the children was a little girl with golden hair and blue eyes. Her name was Elizabeth. My mother took the little girl into our family, and Elizabeth became the daughter that my mother had always wanted. As I grew older, my love for Elizabeth became stronger all the time. Later, my mother had 2 other sons, Ernest and William. A young woman called Justine came to help in the house to help my mother with the children. We loved her as much as she loved us. The years passed happily. We had everything that we needed. At school, I met another very fine person. His name was Henry Clerval, and he was very clever. My family also liked him very much, and so he was a welcome visitor to our home. I studied very hard at school, and I wanted to know the secrets of life, and most of all, I wanted to know how to make living things. I read all the books that I could find. One day, something happened that added a new idea to the ideas that I already had. I was 15 at the time, and we were on holiday in the mountains. One night there was a wild storm, and with it came the most frightening thunder and lightning that I have ever seen in my whole life. About 20 meters in front of our house was a great tree, but suddenly a huge fork of lightning hit the tree, and after a few seconds there was nothing left of it except a black piece of wood 2 meters high. The lightning had destroyed it all. I saw how strong electricity was, and I began to read all the books I could find about electricity and its terrible power. Chapter 3. For 17 years my life was very happy. Then the first sad thing happened. My mother became very ill, and soon she knew that she was dying. Just before she died, she asked Elizabeth and me to go to her room. She held our hands and said, "My children, I am very happy because you love each other and because one day you will get married. Everyone in the family loves you, Elizabeth. Will you take my place in the family, my dear? I can die happy if you will look after them when I have gone." My mother died and we were very sad because we loved her dearly. Elizabeth was brave and helped us. Her sweet smile gave us some happiness in the unhappy days after my mother's death. The time came for me to go to university. I did not want to leave my sad family, but we all knew that I should go. It was hard to leave too, because the parents of my good friend Henry would not let him go to university with me, and so I had to go alone. On my first day of the university, I met my teacher, Professor Waldman, who was one of the greatest scientists in the world. He gave a wonderful talk to all the students who were starting at university. He ended his talk by saying, "Some of you will become the great scientists of tomorrow. You must study hard and discover everything that you can. That is why God made you intelligent, to help other people." After the professor's talk, I thought very carefully. I remembered the storm when I was 15, and I remember how the lightning had destroyed a tree. I want to use electricity to help people, and I want to discover the secrets of life. So I decided to work on these two things. I did not know then that my work would destroy me and the people that I loved. I started work the next day. I worked very hard, and soon Professor Waldman and I realized that I could learn to be a very good scientist. The professor helped me very much. Another important scientist who were his friends helped me too. I was interested in my work, and I did not take one day's holiday during the next 2 years. I did not go home, and my letters to my family were very short. After 2 years, I had discovered many things, and I built a scientific machine that was better than anything in university. My machine would help me answer the most important questions of all. How does life begin? Is it possible to put life into dead things? To answer these questions about life, I had to learn first about death. I had to watch bodies from the moment when they died and the warm life left them. In the hospital and in the university, I watched the dying and the dead. Day after day, month after month, I followed death. It was a dark and terrible time. Then one day, the answer came to me. Suddenly, I was sure that I knew the secrets of life. I knew that I could put life into a body that was not alive. I worked harder and harder now. I slept for only a short time each night and did not eat much food. I wrote to my family less often, but they loved me and did not stop writing to me. They said they understood how busy I was. They did not want me to stop work to write or to see them. They would wait until I had more time. They hoped to see me very soon. The professors realized that I was doing very important work, and so they gave me my own laboratory. There was a small flat above the laboratory where I lived, and sometimes I stayed inside the building for a week and did not go out. Above the laboratory, I built a very tall mast. It was 150 meters high, and higher than the tallest building in the city. The mast could catch lightning. It could send the electricity down to my machine in the laboratory. I had never forgotten the lightning that had destroyed the tree. There had been so much power in the electricity of that lightning, and I believed I could use that electricity to give life to things that were dead. I will say no more than that. The secrets of my machine must die with me. I was a very clever scientist, but I did not realize then what a terrible mistake I was making. Chapter 4. In my laboratory, I made a body. I bought or stole all the pieces of human body that I needed, and slowly and carefully I put them all together. I did not let anybody enter my laboratory or my flat while I was doing this awful work. I was afraid to tell anybody my terrible secret. I had wanted to make a beautiful man, but the face of the creature was horrible. Its skin was thin and yellow, and its eyes were as yellow as its skin. Its long black hair and white teeth were almost beautiful, but the rest of the face was very ugly. Its legs and arms were the right shapes, but they were huge. I had to use big pieces because it was too difficult to join small pieces together. My creature was 2.5 meters tall. For a year I had worked to make this creature, but now it looked terrible and frightening. I almost decided to destroy it, but I could not. I had to know if I could put life into it. I joined the body to the wires of the machine. More wires joined the machine to the mast, and I was sure that my machine could use electricity from lightning to give life to the body. I watched and waited. 2 days later, I saw dark clouds in the sky and I knew that the storm was coming. At about 1 o'clock in the morning, the lightning came. My mast began to do its work immediately, and the electricity from the lightning traveled down the mast to my machine. And I asked, would the machine work? At first nothing happened, but after a few minutes, I saw the creature's body begin to move. Slowly, terribly. The body came alive. Its arms and legs began to move, and slowly it sat up. The dead body had been an ugly thing, but alive it was, much more horrible. Suddenly, I wanted to escape from it. I ran out of the laboratory and locked the door. I was filled with fear at what I had done. For hours I walked up and down in my flat. At last, I lay down on my bed and fell asleep. But my sleep was full of terrible dreams, and I woke up suddenly. The horrible thing that I had created was standing by my bed. Its yellow eyes were looking at me, its mouth opened, and it made strange sounds at me. On its yellow face, there was an awful smile. One of its huge hands reached towards me. Before it could touch me, I jumped off the bed and ran downstairs into the garden. I stayed there all night, but I could not think clearly. I was afraid. And when morning came, I went out into the town and began to walk about. I did not notice where I was walking, but soon I came to the station. A train from Geneva had just arrived, and the passengers were leaving the station. One of them ran towards me when he saw me. It was my dear friend, Henry. He was very pleased to see me. He took my hand and shook it warmly. "My dear Victor," he said, "what a lucky chance that you are here at the station. Your father and Elizabeth and the others are very worried about you because you have not visited them for a very long time. They asked me to make sure that you are well. And I have very good news. My father has agreed to let me study at the university, so we shall be able to spend a lot of time together." I was very happy to hear this news, and for a moment I forgot my fears. I took Henry back to my flat and asked him to wait outside while I went in to take a look. I was afraid that the creature was still there, but it had disappeared. At that time, I did not think of other people and what the creature could do to them. So I took Henry into the flat and cooked a meal for us. But Henry noticed how thin I was, and that I was laughing too much and could not sit still. Suddenly he said, "My dear Victor, what is the matter with you? Are you ill? Has something awful happened?" "Don't ask me that," I cried, and I put my hands over my eyes. I thought I could see the horrible creature there in front of me. I pointed wildly across the room and shouted, "He can tell you, save me, save me." I tried to fight the creature, but there was nothing there. Then I fainted and fell to the floor. Poor Henry. I do not know what he thought. He called a doctor and they put me to bed. I was very ill for 2 months, and Henry stayed and looked after me. His loving care saved me from death. I want to go home and see my family as soon as possible. When I was well enough, I packed my clothes and books. All my luggage was ready, and I was feeling very happy when the postman arrived with some letters. One of the letters ended my short time of happiness. Chapter 5. The letter was from my father in Geneva, and this is what he wrote. "My dear Victor, I want you to know before you arrive home that an awful thing has happened. Your dear youngest brother, William, is dead. He was murdered. It happened last Thursday evening when Elizabeth and I and your 2 brothers, Ernest and William, went for a walk outside the city. William and Ernest were playing William had hidden from Ernest, and Ernest asked Elizabeth and me to help find William. We all began to search for him, but we couldn't find him. We searched all night. At 5 in the morning, I found him. He was lying on the grass, white and still. I could see the marks of fingers on his neck. The murderer had strangled him. Elizabeth had let him wear a gold chain of hers around his neck. On the chain was a very small picture of your mother. We all think that someone murdered William to steal the golden chain. Poor Elizabeth is terribly unhappy at William's death. She thinks he died because she let me wear the chain. Hurry home, please, my dear Victor. You are the only one who can help Elizabeth, and we all need you. With all our love, your father. Henry helped me to catch the train. The journey seemed very long, and it was late at night before the train reached Geneva. I decided to spend the night in the village outside the town and go home early in the morning. I wanted to see the place where William had died. As I started my walk, a storm broke and lightning lit the sky. The police had put posts around the place where the murderer had strangled William, so I found it easily. I cried sadly as I stood there. My poor brother had been a kind and happy boy, and we had all loved him. Again the lightning lit the sky, and I saw a huge figure standing in the rain. When I saw it, I knew at once what it was. It was a creature that had mate. What was he doing here? But although I asked myself the question, I knew the answer. He had murdered my brother. I was sure that I was right. So I decided to try and catch him, but as soon as I moved, he ran towards the mountains. He ran much faster than any man. He climbed the mountain easily, reached the top, and disappeared. I stood there in the dark and in the rain and knew that I had created a monster. He had murdered my brother. Chapter 6. At first, I decided to tell the police my story. But would they believe me? I had been very ill. When the police learned about my illness, they would think the monster was just one of my bad dreams. So I decided that I could not tell anybody. I went home to my family and they were very pleased to see me. Then they told me that the police had found the murderer. Perhaps you will think that this was a good news, but I have not told you who the police had arrested. As I went into the house, I noticed that one person did not come to meet me. It was Justine, the young woman who looked after the children and who was like a sister to us. And it was Justine that the police had arrested. A few days after the murder, the police had searched the house and had found the golden chain in Justine's coat pocket. Everyone in the family knew that Justine had not murdered William. I knew who the murderer was, but I could not tell anyone. We were sure that Justine would be free after the trial because nobody could believe that she was the murderer. But we were wrong. The trial did not go well for Justine. There were a number of strange facts that were difficult to explain, and the judge decided that she was the murderer. The punishment for murder was death. We argued and cried. We said she could not murder anyone, but nothing could change the judge's order. So I got up early and went to the judge's house and told him about the monster. He did not believe me, sadly. He thought I was lying in order to save Justine's life. In the prison, Justine waited quietly for death. We spent many hours with her and she spoke calmly and kindly to us. She was happy because we believed that she had not killed William, and she was almost looking forward to death because then she would be with William and our dear mother in a place of peace. Her love and gentleness added to my great unhappiness. I knew she was going to die because of me. I knew my brother had died because of me. I had brought nothing but sadness and misery to my family. So I took a boat and went out on Lake Geneva. Why didn't I end my life then? Two things stopped me. My father was old, and another death would probably kill him. And I had to stay alive to keep my family safe from the monster. Fear for my family and hate for my monster were with me day and night. I became ill again, and Elizabeth's love could not help me. I need to escape for a while, to leave my unhappiness behind me. So I went to walk alone in the Alps. I hoped the wild beauty of the mountains would help me. Slowly I became calmer among the beautiful mountains. I learned to sleep again, and for days I did not see anybody. Then one morning I saw a figure coming towards me faster than any man could go. It jumped easily over the rocks, and I saw with horror the monster that I had created. On his face was a look of deep sadness, but also of evil. At first I could not speak because I hated him so much. But at last I said, "You are an evil creature. I shall kill you if I can't, because you have killed two people that I love." The monster's yellow eyes looked at me. "I am the unhappiest creature in the world, but I shall fight for my life," he said. "I am bigger and stronger than you, but I will not start to fight. I shall always be gentle to you because you are my king and my creator. You made me, and you should love me and be kind to me like a father. William and Justine died because you did not love me. Why did you create me if you were not ready to love me? We are enemies," I said. "Leave me now, or let us fight." Until one of us is dead. You are a murderer. How could I be kind to you? You say I am a murderer, the monster said, but you want to kill your own creation, your own creature. Isn't that wrong too? I asked you to do one thing for me. Listen, come with me to a warmer place and listen to my story, and then you can decide. I thought carefully about what he had said. It was true that I had given him life, but I had not given him love. I decided to go with him and listen to his story. He took me to a mountain hut where he lit a fire. We sat down by the fire and he began to tell me his story. And that was the end of chapter 6. And also the end of the chapter. Victor Frankenstein's story begins. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you.